ahead and take a moment here. Let's digest exactly what we see here in the spectator mode. You can see that there's 4 different options that we can kind of scan through. You've got your tabletop view, which is your overview map. Kind of looks like commander mode. And also first-person view, which we're in right now. Third-person view, we can actually hop out of the helicopter and get that third-person view that you get whenever you're playing the game. And then also free cam as well. So again, we're getting all of these different types of elements, and you get the chance to see exactly what we have here. Again, we're looking at the map overall here on Siege of Shanghai, and it's a beautiful map. I think it brings a lot of dimension into the game whenever you're talking about having to navigate a heli through this map.
Well, one of the awesome parts when we had a chance to speak with DICE a little while ago was they were very excited for the elements of land, sea, and air, right? And you're seeing it, come out right here, right in front of your eyes. Basically, they're excited that this urban map, this urban environment implements, sea-based vehicles. Also the helicopters we see right here that is pretty much just tearing things apart, in my personal opinion. Alpha 4 and Alpha 11 are just doing work right now. But this is exactly what Battlefield is about. Only in Battlefield you're going to be able to get this kind of experience where you have just this mix of so many things going on at the same time, so many moving parts, yet it's just all awesome carnage, war at its finest. Now, what we are looking here, once again, helicopter shot. This pilot actually doing a pretty standout job maintaining position over at the D area. Now, let's actually break this down, Corey, because the territories actually have an impact on the commander mode. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're just talking about some of the elements from commander mode is that you can take over B, C, and D, and right now, as you look at it, currently the U.S. have C and D. If you're holding down, we're again just talking about Siege of Shanghai. This does not necessarily mean that it goes across all of their maps. It gives them different types of perks, and those assets are actually directly correlating with each map. So for instance, and actually each position, whenever we're talking about some of these flag points. So for instance, the C flag point actually gives you the capability of having a gunship. The B point will allow you to sit there and have the Tomahawk, and I believe D may stand corrected, but it's a type of scan. I think it's an infantry scan.
And as you can see right in front of you guys, this skyscraper is going to be coming down. Levolution at its finest. And now this is really going to affect gameplay, folks, because this is going to, I guess you can block the vision of the pilots, so you can actually see all this dust coming up.
Right, you see all the debris that happens again. So one of the things that you're going to notice here, again, the C flag, the C point was up on top of the skyscraper. And after knocking out the 4 pillars, they're all pretty well identified. So for those of you that are kind of questioning what exactly it is, there's 4 pillars that are on the outside, kind of harbor side, that you can spot and you can take out pretty quickly there. And that's exactly what we saw there. You got knocked down the skyscraper, and then from that point, that actually shifted the C flag down towards the lower side. And right there, I mean, what we saw throughout the game, just some really great gameplay. Just in general, just watching how things kind of evolve. I mean, there's different dynamics that are coming to play. I mean, one, the skyscraper could have stayed up there the whole time. Me and my buddies, we would have had our squad. We would have been spawning up on top of C. We would have been picking people off. We'd have been having the commander, hey, check out this spot over there. Take that out with the Tomahawk, or bring out the gunship since we're holding down C anyway. I mean, all these different elements, but once you knock out the pillars, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's right. Again, we saw it at the EA press conference, and it's more than just a buzzword. It is true to form. It is the levolution. It is the level itself, the map changing before your eyes, evolving. Just the form of combat that you have to engage. That is one of the interesting things, but it doesn't just affect the large scale stuff, right? Like we saw in the press conference, right, that there was a sequence where the players actually destroyed a pillar that allowed the floor to cave in, thus pretty much giving them the advantage to take out a tank.
Over there by the B flag over in metro area, I mean, you were watching right off the start. If you hadn't had the chance to be able to check out that EA press conference, make sure you head over to youtube.com/Battlefield. There's actually a best moments from that video, and that was one of them. You're able to see one of the players there on the infantry side, our hero, if you will, spotted a tank, and then instantly one of the members there, one of the recon members, tossed it out of C4 over by the pillar that was right there by the street and blew it up and then took it out. It was game over from that point. for
but
that
the cool
tank
part is
there
that,
first.
right, that has been a big point of interest for a lot of players. What does that mean to the audience? And, you know, for people who are just tuning in, what is Levolution?
So Levolution is a concept that we're, combining a lot of the things that we've had in the past and adding a lot of new stuff that creates a dynamic and living environment where players actually not only affect the gameplay by, how they fight together, but they also use the environments to fight. We can see, examples of big things and small things where people, when they take down the big skyscraper, that's of course a very big moment.
Yeah.
But you see the bollards, for instance, that you can use to prevent tanks from crossing bridges. You can see small things like, destruction on these walls. We have fire extinguishers that you can take out and they explode and create a smoke screen, which is awesome. We have like metal detectors down in some of the stores in the Galleria, and they're also down in the subway, where if you pass them, you can actually hear that someone is in the area.
Yeah.
So there's everything from really small things to really big things that actually spices things up and create a dynamic and very living environment.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite surprised too, because these are just people who are coming from the convention floor.
Yeah.
They're not, doing anything. They're not like, well, some of them are diehard Battlefield fans, without a doubt. Well,
he's going for C now. This is interesting. He will try to tear them down. This is really cool.
So he's trying to take them down from the top
from the
here.
chopper. They thought they were safe because they're at the top of the building.
But you're never
not
safe.
so much.
So and that brings me back to the thing I want to talk about, which is the various forms of combat.
Yeah.
Infantry base, vehicle base, as well as the air, naval, all that stuff. I mean, only in Battlefield can you get that kind of experience.
Yes.
But how difficult is it to, I guess you could say, balance that out in a sense, and when presenting it to people out there and saying, hey, listen, you can do all these amazing things. What are the
So it doesn't really matter who you are as a player. You can always find your role on the battlefield. Either you're just playing as a supportive person where you help your team to win. Dedicated chopper pilot like this guy, who's apparently is never giving up. Apparently,
never give up, never surrender.
We have very dedicated tank drivers. We have dedicated, we're adding a lot of boats to the game now, ships and boats. So people will get very good at that as well. And then on top of that, we're adding commander mode, which means that you have it and provide support for the team. You see the bollards are up here. They cut back. So just looking at how we toggle between players, we can see that all of them are playing the game in a slightly different way, which is exactly what the
down on the ground pound and rush the objective, push the objective. That's what I'm all about. So, and look at this here, actually, is one player. He's at the top of the skyscraper here. And this is a cool thing, right? Because in the last building, that's awesome, you can parachute. So that adds another element of just gameplay, because that elevated, right? Now it's elevated, it's not brought down. But when it's brought down, though, then the C-Terror Evolution, like why do this? Why change the map? Why reinvent the wheel?
I think it lies in the nature of Battlefield that you want the environment. Games tradition has been very static and very stale, and the gameplay has been kind of suffering from that because you can easily lock down a map if you know exactly how it's going to play and what it's going to be about. But if you add these layers, the Levolution layers away. So it's not only for drama and make the game look better. It's actually a very tactical choice that you can use it for.
It's not just to say, hey, look at the pretty particle effects. It's to say, hey, this is something that greatly impacts gameplay. Changes up
some new cool water features. Of course, the whole swimming experience now much better with both normal swimming but also sprint swim. Where you can swim faster. You can also duck underwater, and you can defend yourself because you use your sidearm while in water. So the water gameplay has improved quite a lot, actually. So
I love
that's really
that.
cool.
I think it's a really cool element. You can also make the vehicle go a little bit faster, put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and get to areas quicker. And it really does seem as if the mission this time around, as we watch here, Bravo. Sure.
No, the blue tags are your teammates. So.
Ah, okay. Well, but here's the thing. Just in talking about this. what
Yeah.
this time around you seemed like you had a mission, and that
Yes.
mission was speed the game up, make it enjoyable. Were those things, is that critical for you guys moving forward into growing the franchise?
Yes, very much. So that's definitely a big part of. Oh,
Here we
it's
go.
going down.
Here we go. So and we knew it was going to happen. The skyscraper's got to go down. Everyone's down with it. Look at this here. The carnage and chaos, which is going to make visibility very difficult. Yes. But now C is going to be down at the bottom as well.
Yeah. So the pilots will now have a very different environment to fly in, and they change now. Don't shoot your friends. No.
Oh no! So, actually, no, they are. They're, there's a lot of cool gadgets to play around with. Had a kind of telling that you guys added a lot of things to it, like the canted sky.
Yes, canted sight. Yeah.
I love that. Right? Yeah. I've never really seen that in a game before. I saw it in the single player. Didn't think it was going to make its way to multiplayer. You guys pleasantly surprised me with that one.
Yeah, there's some really cool features if you go deeper into the game. Again, looking at the customization, there's a lot of things going on there. With you can now select different knives, for instance. You can add more attachments to your guns.
Yeah.
A lot of variation to both the guns and the gadgets, and of course the vehicles. You can see some really cool Chinese vehicles in here.
A lot of variety.
There's so many new things in the game. That you will notice after playing the game for some time. We know that people, when they play Battlefield, they spend a lot of hours in it. So
looking at the action and all that stuff that's going on, you can see how dramatically different things have been have changed because of the levolution mechanics that is in the game. This pilot right now dealing with a lot of Alpha 02, as he's going to have to scale up on this one. But yeah, so I think that is
down.
No, the other thing I want to ask you about is commander mode.
Yes.
Why bring it back?
I think it's we're at the time where we think that commander mode actually adds a lot of value to the players, not only the actual commanders that play against each other, but also everyone on the ground. So commanders are adding a layer of strategic value to the actual commanders, but also a layer of you don't get all your options until it doesn't change the fact that if you don't care about the commander, it's transparent. It doesn't change the game for you. It just
you can still play the game the way that you want to play it.
Yeah, so it adds a layer of value to those people that care about it.
And then one of the other points that I was particularly taken away by was the use of my home, laying on my bed, thinking, what can I do? Well, I can hop on commander mode and just play on my tablet. So, I mean, how was the decision process in implementing that into the game? I mean, that surely must have been difficult.
Yes, we have a tendency to do difficult things at DICE.
I see that.
We often talk about Battlefield from a very high concept level, not so much what you can do, but what we should do. And then we have to figure that out later on how to actually do it.
Yeah.
Commander, the fidelity and the detail that the players that are on the PC or on the console that they need. So tablets might not work from a first-person perspective that well.
Okay.
But command you play on the tablet should feel like the same game. And interacting with the same people that are playing the first-person experience.
Yeah, without a doubt.